Hi guys, welcome to the relationship spread or X spread or on and off relationship spread. So let me explain to you how this works. I have developed this spread and initially I called it Cat Tarot Knows About Relationship Spread, but it got named by you X spread. Basically it is taking me through various categories, and let me explain to you what these categories are and why I'm choosing them. You're going to see in every reading these cards are lying down on the table, and this doesn't mean that the cards are exactly pulled out the same for all of the signs. It simply means that I'm trying to figure out what is in these categories and what is referring to your relationship. And by actually finding all these elements, I will be able to find out the quality of your relationship and project the future trajectory. So the very first card that I have in this spread is the Magician. The Magician, being a number 1, is the number of creation. It is somebody who really want to create something, but it's just like in a phase of thinking. It would be very much like when we show up for work and we are just starting to plan our day, but we are yet not putting our hands on it. It is somebody who really believes that he has all the tools, but he has to figure out how to use those tools. So in this category, I will be trying to figure out what tools your relationship has been given. So it is kind of like a very latent position where maybe you're not using them, maybe you are overusing them, maybe you never got the tools that can make this relationship working. So in this category, in your toolbox, I find out if this relationship basically is ever a starter. The next card I have picked is Temperance reversed. So Temperance is a really great card in the upright position. It talks about things meeting all the needs. So at the right time, in the right place, with the right person, with the right feeling, and it's kind of like that in the zone moment. Now it basically talks about balance. It talks about creation. Look at the fire is creating, like the flowers are growing. But when it's reversed, none of that is happening. So things are not coming together. People are not coming toward us. They are not understanding us. So in this category, I'm trying to figure out what glue your relationship needs. What are the items that you need to work on? Then in my personal readings, I also compare these two categories in the end just to see if you can actually surpass these pluses and minuses or what can be done. Then I'm taking Queen of Wands as a significator for one partner, and please disregard that this is a fire sign generic representation, because in this case I really want people to see themselves as the best possible. Because if, for example, this is an on and off relationship, you do want the person to come back to you and to think about the best you can achieve, and that's basically what happens. People don't come back to you hoping for the worst you are. So this is basically representing one basically partner or female partner. You pretty much know from the storyline which one it is. Then Eight of Wands is basically lots of things happening here. So Eight of Wands is going to come as a communication and energy between you and your partner. This is going to tell me if he or she will call, what kind of issues are happening behind the surface, and what really was the nature of the communication or of silence. Then Nine of Wands is representative of, let's say, for X relationship, because Knight of Wands is almost more important than King, because Knight is the one who is being sent to represent, to show off, and sometimes they're just showing the power when they're being sent to a battle. So in tarot, if this is representing your partner, you want to see your partner galloping toward you and not just sitting and waiting for the partner to be served, which kind of is the case of King of Wands. I will, however, use King of Wands for steady relationships, for some people kind of get in a rut and want to see what is going on, because then King of Wands is more appropriate in that situation. Then I have Judgment card. Well, Judgment card in some decks is being called Karma card. I consider both Judgment and Justice Karma cards. This one actually more so, because this one really talks about bringing the old things to the surface. And so I'm looking that line in time for your relationship and seeing what kind of things are surfacing. And this doesn't have to mean only about your relationship, because we are set of a sum of different life trajectories, and sometimes our buttons are being pushed, so that means something from the past has resurfaced. So two resurfacing things at the same time combined with the outside influence is what is creating a relationship. And I really want to see how is that positioning happening and what can be done with this. And lastly, the last category would be Four of Wands. It is a category of moving to the next level of happiness, of, you know, from liking each other to starting to go on a date, from dating someone to go in a serious relationship, from serious relationship to getting engaged, and so on. This is also going to tell me about the quality of your relationship, and also is going to be able to define if you should continue with that. So guys, now when you know what cards would mean, it's going to be much faster for me and easier for me to actually guide you through the categories. So for detailed explanation, you can also check on my website www.cattarot.ca, and please also via my website as well, you can get your own personal reading, which supersede any of the readings on the site, because it's only your vibration and not the vibration of many. Thanks very much. Love you. Hi Pisces, welcome to your monthly relationships and exes forecast. Before I start, if you guys skip the intro and you don't know these categories, I suggest that at least once you kind of go through it to understand why I'm looking into these categories. Also, these are significators, they're not pulled out cards in a case you don't really want to go back. So each sign is going to have the same start, because these are just the headers of what I really want to discover. Lastly, this is a general reading. It may or may not apply to you, and your personal situation may be different with much different results. So for that, you contact me at www.cattarot.ca. Also, I'm going to be doing these from now on. The second week in June is going to go until the end of first week in July, in order to kind of give you higher quality of reading, because otherwise I was stuck with doing bi-weeklies, X's and daily spreads around the first, so I was collapsing under needing to do 30 videos. So this way it feels right for me, and we still are catching up with the entire month. So anyway, let's jump in. The Magician, the category is talking about the tools for you Pisces to see what is in the first week or this week for you. The Hermit, somebody's feeling introspective, somebody's feeling you kind of like really want to be for yourself, to look deep inside, you know, time out kind of a thing. But it's a good timeout. It's a timeout that it kind of fosters your own inner growth, right? Looking for what you really want, what you really need. So Temperance, his category, Temperance reverse, is going to tell me what needs to be glued in this relationship. So King of Pentacles reversed. Now this is really interesting, because this is definitely upright, somebody who is achievement oriented, somebody who can manifest prosperity, luxury, enjoyment in the earthly things. But this can actually talk about superficiality, maybe overspending, maybe having wrong alliances. Maybe this person is married, maybe this person is involved in a relationship or somehow unavailable. In any case, like King of Pentacles upright would talk about a person needing come our way, who's going to be a solid partner. And this is telling me there is a lack of solidity. So maybe this is why there is like this thinking going through. So this is going to significate you. I mean, there are two significators. It could be either of you, and it could actually also talk about a third person, and you are going to know which one it is. And also, hopefully, you're going to give me this in the comments. So you are being seen as the sun, and of course this is a lovely way to be seen as somebody who can kind of generate new. Sun is 19, which is 1 and 9 is 10, and 1 and 0 is 1. So it's kind of a new beginning, and you can see the cheerfulness, the abundance, right? With this card, you know, everything is possible, and everything you need to know is illuminated, sort of like the paths are opening in front. So this is basically a time of plenty, and you know, there is somebody who maybe the partner is really grateful to be with you. Maybe you did bring this like sunshine to the kind of like dark corners of somebody, because look, here you were looking for this light, and now the sun is like shining so brightly. Or maybe it's even shining on your own situation. So let's see, what is the communication? Wow, we have a Queen of Pentacles, and now this is significant because both of them are here and they're reversed. So it is a couple that is no longer a couple. And now the sun can also mean a marriage, and it can mean that maybe you're seen as somebody who can resurrect it. Maybe you're seen as somebody who wants it. But also Queen of Pentacles is talking about, just like King of Pentacles, not really willing to go dive deep with this. I really need to dive deep inside of me right now to figure out what I want. So how is your partner seeing himself or herself? Well, they feel wounded, right? So this is the card 10 of Swords, as when the intuition goes bad, right? When you didn't listen to your own instincts, where you're backstabbed. They feel that this was not deserving. They feel that, you know, maybe they wanted a different response. It could look to me that you guys are the ones who are pulling out of this, or not finding that you are grounded in the situation, and your partner, or this could be you as well, as I said, it can kind of intermingle, kind of feel that you're on the bottom. It's kind of, the good news about this card is like the healing is taking place. It is going up, and 10 and 1, we have a 9 in the same one. So it is something closing and something is beginning over here. So let's see what is karma talking about it. Well, Queen of Swords, well, that's a breakup. This is definitely my breakup card, and it could be a really harsh breakup, and one partner did break up with another one, and it was a real vision. When I see Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles, I see that this relationship was really important, that almost like was going down the path of marriage, and somehow something got in the way and got interrupted, and one partner got really hurt, which kind of set events in motion and kind of went to this self-discovery. And the sun means, okay, I'm lifting all this, like I'm in hidden nooks and trying to figure out what's happening and what is the right thing for me. So let's see the quality of your relationship. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, it's kind of not moving forward. It kind of would be a building energy, a young energy, kind of let's go and do it. But when it's reversed, it's not. This can also mean, actually, looking at it, that it could be that some other person was interfering, because Page of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles would tell me maybe it's a disruption of a family unit, and somebody really pulled the rug under your feet. I would like to know about that, if that's the case, because this is kind of really rare to see all of them. So either it was the ending of the family unit, or the ending of what it was, and looking for the situation, the way out. But both partners are looking, so it's not really just one-sided thing. So let's see the next week. Wow, I don't like to see this card. This is, first of all, a card of independence, and it's coming in the category of relationship. but it's maybe not a good independence. Like somebody's taking what they can take, they're running away with it, and they're kind of trying to see what works for them. In a relationship, you have to figure out what works for both of them. So this kind of gives off that sneaky kind of feeling. And it's also non-conformity, right? It's wondering if it's time to live on your own terms, and you know, and how to be true to what basically you need to do for yourself. And it's, whenever the swords show up, it is talking about the truth, and it's talking about lies or truth, right? And feeling like it's the words, it's kind of coming back to you what communication took place, and wondering about it. So obviously there is lots of thought being spent on why certain things happen, and maybe feeling wronged. So let's see what else needs to be glued in a second. So look, we have a Temperance and Temperance. So this is reinforcing that this is kind of like really hard to glue. This is kind of not great, especially now it's right next to 7 and it's like doubling up. So Temperance means it is also talking about it's the right timing, right, wrong person in the wrong place in the wrong time, sort of a thing. And that's why people just taking, grabbing what they can, and kind of like taking off with this. So you are being seen as somebody who is a builder, who is kind of putting one foot in front of another, building and rebuilding yourself. It is definitely about gaining knowledge, which can include self-knowledge, and having a confidence really to rebuild. And this can talk about this relationship, but this can also talk about rebuilding your own sense of self, but in a very pragmatic, day-to-day kind of way. Sort of, you know, I cannot allow myself to let go in despair. Instead, you know, I'm going to just get up, I'm going to shower, I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to do the laundry. Sort of like keeping yourself busy with things, with very kind of mundane things, but those mundane things are going to end up again being able to kind of like walk and feel comfortable with yourself. You see, communication, it is like, this is like definitely feeling of empowerment, right? It's kind of illusion of lack, it's overlooking treasures. But it's also the card that says, look, it's not as bad as it seems, and it cannot be that bad. It could be like, I mean, the poverty consciousness, and you need to open your mind to, you know, what is overlooked. Look, they're passing by the church and they're not entering the warm place that can feed them. Instead, why are the two of them walking by? What's going on? And understand that if you're focusing on a lack, that you're going to attract more lack. It's sort of like that law of attraction, right? Instead, here it's kind of counting your blessings, whatever like is left. It could mean also there's a breakup and there's a financial involvement, and now feeling really apprehensive about the future, right? So what is the partner thinking? You see, the partner is kind of putting themselves or herself on a pedestal, and they're trying to be somehow compassionate in the relationship, which is good, because in this situation compassion is really needed, whether it works out or it doesn't work out. This is a King of Cups, which is kind of that loving, diplomatic, you know, representation of a person who is fair and gentle, who is a great listener. It is somebody who guides us, and they lead us away from fear into harmonious collaboration. So if you guys are falling off with your partner and need to kind of renegotiate maybe terms or something, it's going to be met with the loving energy, and you may actually put that loving energy into the situation yourself and get this reflection of that energy from another partner. Or you feel that even the situation maybe is not that great, that you still can actually feed this partner with that energy. So it is kind of rebuilding quality over here on kind of like few levels. So karma is saying, look guys, there is life after this. New relationship can be built, right? So this is a breakup of something and the beginning of something else. And it looks like maybe the partner is going into something else. But you may as well go into something else with a partner. We are going to see. Nine of Wands, look, he is coming out in a relationship. So your partner is coming through. So something maybe didn't work out. Maybe this is some kind of old situation over here that pre-existed, that has been influencing you and make one of you hesitate to kind of jump in, and hence maybe somebody was feeling sneaky. Maybe somebody was in a relationship and you didn't want to start it until things are being settled down, or basically the divorce or breakup being final, but still standing strong to be willing to build it. And it looks like the second or third week in June, this could be actually really possible. This person could be coming in, and Knight of Wands is like really somebody who is enchanting, somebody who is inspirational, somebody who definitely will romance you, take you places, and you're going to have a great enjoyment with this person. But having said that, Knight of Wands, even though it's the termination of a new adventure, this could be, Knights are usually not staying, they just come and they go. So it is still a passing energy, but this is still also a trust that manifestation is happening. And so there is like, I mean, cups are emotion and passion together is a really good combination. So you have three over here, and yet maybe this is what is happening because you're asserting that independence, and you're asserting the fact that you actually have to have your needs met, and even though that means that you're taking something away from somebody. So let's see the last weekend in June. Well, this is Six of Swords, which kind of is a card of really moving on in the upright direction, but when it's reversed, it means coming back, and it means not necessarily coming back to good things. It's sort of like inability to move on from a situation. So now we have a 7 and we have a 6. So there is like still something that is lingering. There is like still something brewing underneath the surface. So what needs to take place? The Hangman. And Hangman to me is like river runs through it kind of scenario. Really, you are cognizable of the situation. You understand that there is like some thinking obviously that has to take place, that things went out of, you know, control, and certain things maybe were resolved, the other things were not resolved. But this is a card that says you cannot be controlling. You really have to let life to take its toll and see what happens. Literally kind of stop playing poker with sweaty palms and step aside and see what happens, and see how things resolve, and just be curious about it and trust yourself. So how are you seen? Well, you are seen as, well, King of Wands. Kind of you are improving, that you are getting better, that you are the one. You see, this is Knight and this is Queen. So things are turning around, guys, for you, and looks like this coming back is done for a reason. This coming back means fixing things. This coming back means resolving things that didn't work and resolving what basically bothers you. So this is talking about you're becoming your own inspiration, and you're seen as inspirational, right? Certainly you're confident, you're getting things done, and you know, you are kind of open to new ideas at the same time. So the communication here, Queen of Cups. I don't like seeing this many people. This can talk about being very emotional, but King of Cups and Queen of Cups here together, it's again some kind of coupling. It's again couple that is really not together anymore, but there is like still some kind of emotional component over here. Interestingly enough, is like the King of Wands looking this direction, and sort of like a vision. How do I fix it? How do I fix this imbalance? How do I let this life take you know, place without being controlling? And how do I still make this, you know, myself known on this planet? But you know, it looks like the partner is like so self-involved, but not so much because they're selfish, but they're dealing with some kind of situation over here. right? And your partner does want a new start. The Fool is like the spiritual beginning, and it's still not really like, I mean, actively starting, but it's like actively understanding. You have to kind of travel light, you have to leave things behind, right? And it's kind of like the thought of, how do I go about it, how do I start, and which path do I take? What is karma saying here? Karma is saying, well, kind of somebody feels embattled, right? Look at this. This is a seasoned warrior who kind of like has a scratch or two. And it basically talks about, you know, kind of battles can be difficult, but they're also kind of making you stronger. And this talks about strategy, talks about, okay, what do I do with the next step? What kind of discipline I have to have? How do I tap into resources? And you know, it's kind of planning what's going to unfold in front. So karma is saying, look, it is 9, but yeah, go ahead, be curious, take it another step to get to 10. So as far as relationship, I guess there is this lingering feeling of there is a third party, and in your case, I think it's a third party, not so much in cheating, which is possible, but there is a leftover of a situation here, and it's certainly somebody influencing, either indirectly or directly. Again, guys, I would like to know your opinion, and maybe this is why the karma is saying, do not give up yet. Come back and try to talk about it, and try to see how things will resolve, and be ready to kind of like make executive decisions. Because this can be a very emotional situation as well. It can be kind of like really pushing this whole communication on a different level, because this is talking about instability. Okay, so let's see the sneak peek for the first week in July. Well, this is very interesting, guys, because it's kind of, in a sense, it's a mixed message. Well, we have 8 of Wands here reversed, and then we have another 8, and then we have another 8. So 8 is like the building number, like, so we have a 17, which is also 8. So 4 8s, which is definitely suggesting that things here need to be fully, completely rebuilt. You need to be strong for it, and for some of you this involves rebuilding it legally, meaning that certain things have to finish, because the King of Swords can also mean a lawyer, and can mean definitely dealing with facts and intellect. So these things have to be approached maybe even through communication. So now these two are communication cards, and one is talking more or less about love expression, another one is talking about affairs and hesitation. So there is still a big fear of going into that, like, I mean, sort of person wants to communicate. So now you have 6, 7 and 8 over here, but at the same time it's feeling, oh my gosh, this is really not well. This is like still that feeling of, oh my gosh, something will happen. But you guys are somehow getting your feet on the ground. Ace of Pentacles means new beginning, right? So here it was like the sign of this new beginning, and it was on an emotional level, which is you, Pisces. But here it is like putting your foot really firmly down. Ace of Pentacles is building the future, right? So there is like this garden that you really want to go into it, and this is the resource happening from out of nowhere. And it might be on different terms, because again, like I have like this, again, the family here. So it's kind of really clear message here that there is like some kind of healing that has to take place, and mostly seems to be your partner that has to be strong enough to heal, because it looks like that what you guys are going to go right now in direction is going to be more of a friendship, because the love relationship may be rejected, may not take off at this point, because this healing is really needed. So this rebuilding has to happen naturally, and it cannot be forced over here. But your partner will definitely communicate about that, and there's going to be some kind of consensus and agreement about that, and it's going to kind of like start working on few levels. Hi, Safi. Do you like Pisces? A lot? A lot? Come on, you're covering everything. You're covering. So Pisces, I would really like to know your opinion about what is going on here and who are these players, because I'm seeing lots of people, which could be again the same situation over and over. So it's going from financial discussions to emotional discussions, but it's certainly, if there is somebody involved with your partner, it looks like they're dealing with some situation that not necessarily is cheating, but it does feel like cheating. So I would like to know your input. And again, Pisces, this is general reading. For your personal reading, please contact me at www.cattarot.ca. I also please ask you to comment, because I appreciate your comments, and also to like, share, subscribe. That really keeps me going. Thank you very much. I love you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Bye.